Oh my goodness. I feel like we don't have this conversation nearly enough. Hey girl, it's Natasha Russell, but you can just call me Tosh. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about navigating major life transitions. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're here for the first time, welcome, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, sis. And thank you so much for tuning in. I got married to the love of my life, Nicholas Russell. It is crazy. We're almost going to be a year married, and I just don't even know how that happened. And though our relationship has not come without its challenges and the transitions have been hard and difficult, I'm so thankful that I'm able to testify that God literally is a blesser. He's a blesser and the giver of really good things. I'm now going through this life journey with an amazing individual. I want to give a big disclaimer, as I do with all of my videos. In no way do I want to pretend or act like I have a life that's all together. But what I want to do is really show up and encourage you that through life transitions, you can make it. Got married on November 11th, 2023. Our wedding was so unique. So you just had the best day of your life. You're thinking life after this is going to be so blissful. Yeah, I had been already struggling with just not being able to accept in my life that certain things hadn't happened. Like I was really grieving the life I thought I should have had, was really overcoming or trying to overcome this outlook of like my life needs to be perfect. And so me and my husband, we didn't end up going on like a traditional honeymoon, like fly out. We did a staycation. We ended up in a little studio apartment, which we're still in. We're praying the Lord open up a door for us. You know, we're saving and we're doing what we got to do, but we're waiting until it's wise, knowing Toronto. If you're in Toronto, Canada, then you know the market conditions here are crazy. This just is not what I had thought was going to be what my life was going to be like. I didn't think that by the time I got married, I would be in a little studio apartment. I didn't think that, I thought I would have been way ahead financially. I thought it would have been in my own home. I had certain ideologies and thoughts about my husband. That just was not the reality. And then on top of all of that, we got married and I found myself switching churches, which ironically I knew and agreed to, of course, right? I hadn't fully grasped the concept of you trust God, but your life is your own and you have to make your own decisions. And so you need to take time and really thoroughly think through what it is that you're doing. I mean, I had some concept of it just from common sense, but a deep understanding of knowing like you are actually in control of your life in terms of like you got to live it out, you got to make your choices. I had this weird perception. Like, you know, sometimes you watch those videos or those movies, like Netflix documentary about people who are in cults and they're just like brainwashed. They're just walking around just doing whatever they're told. Fam, that was me. I'm not even gonna lie. I was probably one of those people. I feel like I literally just had this thought of no independence. I did not have it like a true independence, like an independence in thinking. I did not have independence in thinking. I just thought you pray, you pray, you pray. God has like very specific things for you, and you have to know exactly what those specific things are in order to move. And it stemmed from that perfectionism. If you don't watch that video, you need to go back and watch that video. But it really stemmed from this view of perfectionism of I need to find the right one. Like I gotta find the husband. I gotta find the job. And until then, I can't make any moves. And if I do, like I'm gonna screw up my life. My life is eternally screwed up. I'm done for because there's only one way. You know, that was also trauma from some decisions that I made, but I wasn't really taught, nor did I know that good decision making was like a very important skill that's needed in your life. Like you need to be able to know how to make good decisions. And this is biblical. Like there are scriptures in Proverbs that will talk about the wise taking counsel, you taking time to make decisions, not rushing. Fools rush. But for me, it looked like, okay, I'm just gonna wait on God. I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna cry in the presence of God, and I'm gonna move and the emotionalism, and God is just gonna do it, and I'm just gonna wait on Him. And then one of the ways that this showed up in my life was in my finances. Previously, like I would just be like, God, I'm trusting on you, trusting in you, trusting in you. And when God would bless me or bail me out of a situation, I would just default to the same behavior. I wouldn't make any wise decisions. I wouldn't actually take it upon myself. I would take no ownership for my life and the things that I wanted to happen. I would just wait on God, do whatever I would want to do that would land me in the same position, and then I would just wait on God again. Now, here I am, recently married, facing all of these new transitions, find myself again, like these are choices that I made. I chose to marry this person. I chose this life knowing very well that he wouldn't want to switch churches, that this was going to be our life. We made these choices. But here I am after being married and I'm grieving these choices. First couple months of marriage, Masha, crying. All of these things compounded started to make me second guess, why did I get married? I don't know if I can do this. It's a whole different environment. I grew up going to one church, basically one or two churches for all of my life, and now I'm at another church having to meet new people. It was a lot. It was a lot of pressure and just a lot of transitions happening all at the same time. Previous to the wedding, I had distractions. I was planning the wedding. I was focused on, again, the wedding planning, my dress, his bridal party, the food, all these things. So I was distracted, not really paying attention to our relationship and prepping in a way that would have been good for the marriage itself to cross over, and even just asking the right questions still, right? Which there's a tip for any of you ladies who are single, you're dating, you're engaged, about to be married. Get to know your partner still. Even when you're engaged, ask questions. Get outside people too, because they'll bring up things that you're not even going to think about. Get mentorship, get premarital counseling. It's to help you and equip you grow. I just came to this place where I was just so fed up with the pain, with feeling the way that I was feeling. And I was like, God, I can't do this. Like, there's supposed to be joy in this season. And it just seems like the enemy wants to steal this joy away. So I need you to help me navigate this transition. And honestly, it was around the 3-month mark, and the Lord was meeting me. Like every single time we would go to our church, there would just be a message of encouragement or tools or tips on how to navigate. And a lot of it wasn't just self-help stuff. It wasn't like the nice motivational, oh, just go light a candle, go journal. No. It was like sometimes you got to stay in the thick of it because God says so. Sometimes you will ask the Lord to remove the thorn from your side and he says, no, my grace is sufficient for you. And in your weakness, strength is made perfect. Like I was getting my edges dragged. I was getting responses that I didn't want to hear, but God was like, you need to hear this. Because the reality of it is navigating a transition, if you're going to get to the other side, you can't run away. And I had been so used to running away from pain, from struggle, from anything that made me feel uncomfortable. And that's the first thing that I want to say to you is don't run away from the hard things. Don't run away just because it seems like it's difficult and it's hard and it's not as pretty and aesthetic as we like to put it out on social media things. Oh, life is so beautiful. Demure. Listen to me. Sometimes life is not demure. Sometimes life is not that girl. Sometimes it's struggle. Sometimes it's a little rough and you still got to stick it out because what you desire, the change, the freedom, the growth, the next level, the expansion is on this other side of you thugging it out. Like think of it as a tunnel. That's what transition is. It's like this period of darkness in order to get to light. And you can't go up it, you can't go under it, you can't go around it. You got to go through. In order for you to get where you want to go, you have to go through. And so it takes realization. I think the first thing, it takes acceptance. It takes acceptance of where you are, the decisions that you've made. If you have made not so good decisions that are now causing you to be reaping certain consequences or contributing to the pain in your transition, don't rush to make decisions. Don't rush to come out of it. Like I said, you need to go through it and it's going to take time. So you need to give yourself grace and you need to like literally just be okay with the journey. Because sometimes I feel like we're not okay with the journey. Sometimes we're looking to escape the journey or we're just looking to escape the struggle and the hardness. And it's like, no, God will bring you back to the same place again if you don't learn this lesson, because he wants to cultivate in you something deeper that will remain, that will change your life, that will shift your thinking, that will make you more of the woman that you're supposed to be. So don't run away. And that's what I had to learn. Like I had to learn not to run away. And so what that looked like for me was, it was a lot of learning submission. It was a lot of recognizing the parts of me that were prideful, recognizing the parts of me that were resisting growth. I was praying for growth, but I was resisting growth. It was also realizing like, I need to get deeper in the word. I need to spend time with God. I can't find fulfillment in this perfect life or material things. I can't find fulfillment in anything. Even my husband cannot fulfill me. I need to get content with God. I need to get to a place where Jesus is enough for me, like truly enough for me, and where I'm growing and I'm taking ownership of my decisions. I don't like something. change it. You can do something. You don't like the career that you're in, you don't like the job that you're in. You may not be able to change it today, but you can start making steps to see that change actualize in your life. So maybe it looks like upgrading your education, brushing up your resume. We have the ability, and God has already given us, like, okay, we look at Genesis and we see that the Lord gave Adam and Eve dominion. He named the animals. God could have easily been like, that's a lion, that's a tiger. But he's like, no, I'm giving you dominion over the earth. You name them. Whatever you do and you tell, it will obey you. And we need to understand God has already given you the ability of free will and choice and dominion. And depending on what you do, you reap the consequences of those decisions, right? But that doesn't mean that we don't take ownership. It doesn't mean that we're a victim to our circumstances. It doesn't mean that you just sit back and say, okay, oh well, my life is doomed. No. Even though it's hard and you're rough and you're in the transition, it's an opportunity for you to grow. It's an opportunity for you to take ownership and responsibility. And it's an opportunity for you to actually do the things that you maybe thought you weren't capable of doing, and to see God's glory manifested in your life in a new way. Change is inevitable, but growth is a choice. It's what you do in the transition that actually matters. It's not the fact that the transition is happening, because change is always going to happen. There's nothing you and I can do to stop change from happening. But what we can do is choose how we navigate it. So we can complain, we can be upset, we can become depressed, we can let stress take us over, we can become anxious, right? And all of these things are triggers and emotions that allow us to be able to go to that place. Like if you start to feel anxious or you start to feel stressed, it's an indication that you need to maybe slow down, you need to rest, you're comparing, right? It's signals to let you know, like, you need to look within yourself and look at actually like what's happening and take a step back. It could be an indication you need to go and lay this down before the Lord. You need to pray. You're not reading your Bible, right? Because it's not just about checking off a list of doing these things. It's actually that reading the word of God is feeding your soul. Like it's feeding you, it's giving you life, it's giving you energy, it's giving you strength to be able to continue on this journey, to navigate and to come through this transition so you can see the other side. It's talking to God, laying down those burdens, cast all your cares and all your burdens on him because he cares for you. Like God wants to commune with you, not because it's a checklist item, not because, oh, you need to do it and it's a rule. No, because he actually cares that you're unburdened. He cares that you're free. He cares that you're light, and he wants that relationship with you. Without being able to navigate these life transitions, we would never learn more about ourselves. I know that that's true for me. Being married, though it's been one of the hardest things I think I've ever done, it's a blessing. It's one of the best things that literally could have ever happened for me, because it's allowing me to get to this place of really knowing Jesus for myself, and also knowing Tosh. I didn't accept who I was. I was always trying to be perfect, always trying to dim who I was to show up in a way that was acceptable to other people. Like I just was not accepting of my journey, not accepting of my decisions, not taking ownership for my life, and just not happy with who I was. And I think getting to this place of going through this huge life transition, it has actually allowed me to come to a place where I'm like, I'm not accepting what anyone else says about who Jesus is. I'm going to find out for myself. I'm going to read the word for myself. I'm going to let God renew and transform my mind so that I can know his will, so that I can know him for myself, so that I can be free. And so it's a duality of it, right? Like I'm thankful to God that I grew up this way and with a good foundation, and that I was able to come to know him. But now I got to heal from the parts that weren't so good. If you find yourself in a similar position and what I said today resonates with you, then I just want you to know that you're not alone. You are not alone. You're never alone. And that you will get to the other side. There are a community of women. You have your daily reminder. You have me. I hope and I know that something here said today is going to resonate with you. So I'm asking you to like. Don't forget to subscribe. That's the most important. Subscribe, y'all, because it really does help our channel grow. Like this video. Comment if anything I said resonate with you. Like what resonates with you? I really want to know. Let's talk about it. And if there's anything that you'd like for me to cover in another video, then please also comment that and share this. Share this with another woman, because I know if you resonated with, then there's probably someone else, someone of your friends who needs to hear this as well, needs to be reminded that she's not alone, that this transition is for a purpose, and that she can actually make it to the other side. I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for creating a safe space for me to be vulnerable and for me to share my life with you, for not judging me. And even if you are, like, it is what it is, because again, I'm on that growth of like, this is Tosh. Until next time, I'll see you around.